Hello and welcome back to Professor Ted's Best Japanese. Today I thought I'd like to go completely out of the box thinking. Instead of just teaching you a word or a letter or something like that, I want to teach you ways to think about Japanese which will really propel your learning of it. And the first thing I want to talk about today is what kanji don't you need to know? So when you're reading books or going to classes, people saying you should know this kanji and you should know that. And I even gave you what I thought would be good to be the first kanji. But what's more important to learn is what kanji don't you need to know? And what I mean by that is when you go through schools, you use textbooks, they give you an order of kanji, learn in this order that doesn't really make much sense. So let's get started. A lot of what people teach you is first numbers, ich, ni, san. And you look at it and you say, oh, it's one stroke, two stroke, three strokes, very easy. And then you get to shi and go and pattern change, but you kind of keep at it. But here's the truth that nobody tells you. Is that Japanese people rarely use these. They use the same numbers, 1, 2, 3, that we do. And kanji numbers are used mostly in names like Sannomiya and things like that. So you really don't need to learn that right off the bat. Maybe your second, third, fourth year in Japan or learning, but your first year, definitely, I would say you don't need to learn that. So basically, the kanji that you need will change depending not on what some book tells you, but on how many years you've been studying Japanese or learning in Japan, or what type of reading you're trying to do. So basically, if you're trying to read a manga that you like, maybe you chose like a very simple one, the kanji in that are probably what you're going to need to learn. And you won't need to memorize them all, but maybe some you'll be able to read and write, and others you'll just be able to recognize. So the kanji you'll need is not dependent on some book or some professor telling you this list. It's what your needs actually are. So you're going to have to match it to that. So one last example I'll give is the word arigato. So here's arigato. We got the kanji ari, which means for a thing to be, somewhere to exist. And gato is muzukashi, difficult. Wow, that's really weird that those two come together to make a word, but there's a historical reason for it, which I won't go into. But here's the thing, nobody writes, or very, very rarely do people write that as kanji. So until your third, fourth year into Japanese, you don't need to know those kanji. Ari, definitely you won't need for a while. Gato, muzukashi, you might need after a year or two in Japan, especially if you're working in a Japanese language context. So everyone writes it in hiragana, so write it in hiragana. So that's just a way to think about kanji that takes some of the stress out of it and kind of grounds it to what your actual needs are. And if you do this, then you won't be afraid of kanji and you'll learn what you need to learn. Thank you. And if you like, please, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. In the future, I'm working on a book now about teaching yourself kanji. So please keep your eyes open for that. Thank you.